this parable about the mustard seed and how the mustard seed is least amongst the seeds, but when it is fully grown becomes a tree that supporteth all life. In a way, he was talking about himself, because he himself is the sustainer of all life in this world. He's the one who gives you the abilities, the gifts that you personally have, the things that you're good at. It is him who sustains that in you. I was thinking about our dear brother, Peter Livingston, who can't be with us today and is improving, who had a stroke when he was at home visiting his family. And he's come very near to having strokes several times in the time that we've known him. But he always shows up Sundays. He always likes to read the scriptures ahead of time. And he would pretty much go unnoticed, except that he stands in the back with the choir and sings bass with us. And, he's getting better. Thank God, he's getting better. But my point in bringing up his name is that he's just a person that comes to church regularly, follows the fast regularly, is kind to others regularly. And so that seed that was planted in him at his baptism as a child, growing up with relatives that were actually canonized saints, he grew as a man, and he grew into a man who did great things in this world. He was an inventor, he was a great engineer, and then he moved on past that. And so, we see the seed of God, like the mustard seed, growing in us through baptism and chrismation. We see that seed growing in us, but it's like if you or the plant, you can't water yourself. You cannot water yourself. You have to be watered by God. And so as we give our life over to Christ, as we allow that seed to grow in us, each and every one of us, we become reminded not only of the birth of Christ and how he came into this world to redeem mankind, an unheard of thing, that God, who creator of all the universe itself, sustainer of all living things, can be born as a man in the womb of the Virgin, and that she remained virgin after the birth. And so it's an amazing, miraculous thing, but all things are possible with God. And so it's possible for God to grow in us as well, to develop in us as we develop our talents in him. It's possible for us to have that always at the forefront, that we are doing well by his grace, and we are doing not so well sometimes by his grace as well. He is a sustainer of everything that is in our life. And so the more that we acknowledge him as sustainer of all living things, the more that we understand that seed that is planted in baptism, chrismation, and even as a catechumen, that seed that is about to be planted in you grows. And you grow according to your ability to give over to him and to do the things that he wills you to do, to love him and to love your neighbor, to be kind, to be virtuous in all things, to maintain your fasting and your almsgiving and all those things. But it is he who sustains you, he who sustains me, he who has given me continually the ability to serve the divine liturgy all these 20-something years. And, like we said with the Holy Fathers and Forefathers, that when we read the service, or the begats, you might say, when we read those begats, when I read them, it's not to say that every one of those men and women were perfect people, It's just to say that they were people who, by the grace of God, were able to do the things that were righteous on behalf of God himself, so that the Mother of God could be could bear God in her womb, and that salvation would come into this world. So because what happens after this, with Christ, is that they chase. Herod wants to kill him and wants to destroy him, and so he chases the Holy Family out of the Holy Land into Egypt, where he dwelt for a period of time. So we are all about the birth of Christ today. We are all about that birth happening within us, and as we seek the body and blood of Christ, as we seek to his grace in all of our living and all of our life, we have to remember that it is he who sustains us, therefore we are beholding to him for everything. So may God give us the strength to bear witness today and to all days to the glory that he brings in this world. Glory to Jesus Christ.
Glory forever.